Get in, get in here, get in here. I got that. I got that. I got that. AT up high. Okay, let's start this over. Let's start this over. First of all, how's the sound? How's the sound? How's the sound? How's the sound? Good, good. Someone called me. I didn't turn my do not disturb on. So I don't know how much of the story you guys heard. So I'm gonna start it back over again. I'm gonna start it back over again. Don't let no one tell your story. You tell your story. So yesterday, I arrived at the YSL trial in the morning, probably about a little after 9. There was a witness on the stand, and I believe he was one of the detectives was on the stand giving testimony in the morning. So the infamous, she has a bunch of stuff in the courtroom because she's streaming. She has like two tripods and a bunch of stuff in the courtroom. She's streaming, and she's sitting in the direct line of where I can get my shot. Meanwhile, there's a seat to her right that's open. And I don't know if it's because she can't fit in it. I don't know what the situation is, but it's a seat there where you can sit right in front of your tripod and control your camera, which I do all the time. Big Bertha needs some space. And those who know who Big Bertha is the big lens I work with when I'm covering cases in big courtrooms. So the pool camera, the law and crime pool camera operator, Maurice, he's his tripod is affixed in front of the right in front of the podium. Well, the witness asked him there because he was already in that position, but when there was a break, he could have moved it. And I was wondering why this guy didn't want to move the camera because there's enough space there. I took the pictures, and you can see from my photos. And I'm gonna do a live. I'm gonna bring some of the monstrous evidence out so you can see what I'm talking about. I just can't share it on this right now. So he was in, again, he was recording, so I didn't really want to disturb him. I was waiting for a break in the, in the case where he could move the camera. So when there was a break, I asked him, I said, can you move the camera, shift it a little bit? And he's like, no, I'm here, I'm shooting. He had an attitude. I'm like, okay. Because I know that the other camera guys will move, will adjust. And since I'm not in the front row, which I was normally in the front row, something happened between the time I was in the court last time and the time I came back this time. Now this guy needs the whole full row. And for the last 8-9 months, when I shoot from the first same roll as the video camera set up. But for some reason, it was an issue. So I'm wondering what was going on. So the infamous says to me, "Oh, go sit up front. You can sit up front." So she already know. It's my belief that she already know that this guy is going to have an issue with me sitting up front. So I'm like, okay. So I go to try to make an attempt to sit up front. And this Negro does one of these. I'm gonna show you what he does. He does one of these. He said, like, first of all, who the hell you think who you directing? You ain't directing traffic. So I'm cool. So I'm sitting there staring at him. I'm mean mugging him. Like, dude, like what you on right now? We're here to do a job. What are you on right now? So he does this. He wants to be animated. He does this. I'm like, okay, I see what's happening here. So I turn around, look through the peripheral vision. I see old girl smirking. I said, okay, I see what's happening. So I go back next to her, and I'm just set up shooting. So I said to him again. I asked him again. So now he gets a little sassy. I love the Pete. Okay, okay. What happened? Oh, I thought you said he died. I was like, wait a minute. So I say to him, again. So he doesn't. So I hit his editor because I'm right now. I'm not really talking to the employees. I didn't really want to talk to the employee at this point. I'm like, why am I talking to the employee? He's an employee. Let me talk to the supervisor who controls the camera. I mean, who controls him? Because I'm having too much conversation with this fool now because he's out of pocket. So he says some slick stuff. I said, okay, so you because now I know the sheriff's no one's around, and the Doug's mother and I think y'all Gotti's mother's there, and a few of the people, the woman in the back, and it was some law school students that were there yesterday as well. So I go back over there and I try to cause a scene. I shoot a message to his boss, and she's like, "What? Why is he not moving? Like, is there a problem? Like, because I don't, she knows I don't have any issues with anyone there, with the exception of who." So he gets upset because I hit her up, and he gets out of character. I mean, he gets like a little slick with the mouth. So I'm listening. I said, okay, I see what the play is because him and Sylvia hang out. They tight, and that's cool. You can be tight with anybody you want to be tight with, but when it infringes on my ability to do my job, then that's a different conversation. So he said some words. I'm like, okay, he's an employee for a corporation, and he's essentially trying to call me out. I'm like, okay. I tell you what, we go outside. Let's don't do it. Let's go outside and let's talk on the hallway. I said, come on. He said, okay, I'll come outside. All right, come on. So now he's trying to, how people dry snitch, they want to make a little more noise. I'm like, okay, this is okay. So he gets up. I get up. I said, go ahead. I'm not walking behind you. We don't do that. And rule of thumb, as a trained martial artist, you don't let your opposition walk behind you. You let them walk in front of you, and you don't take your shirt off to get in the fight when you're in front of somebody. Not with that we're gonna fight. We don't do none of that. There's some techniques that you just don't. You gotta use your head. So at this point, the judge gets back on the bench, and we take our seats again because it's now time to get back to the business. And then something happened during the case, and we look at the video that the judge decided to call a lunch break. I said, okay, this is good. This is good. So I go in the hallway. I stand by. I don't go all the way out. I go in the hallway so he can see that I'm standing there waiting to talk to him. Talk to him. All of a sudden, he disappears. He disappears. So I go to the media room, and I'm sitting there with the expectation of anyone that wants to come to the media room, they come to the media room, they come and sit down. So he comes into the media room. So I'm saying to myself, I say, okay, so now we can figure out what the issue is. So he sits down with his stinking, smelly lunch. I don't know who fixing his food. It smelled like dead dog food. And he sits there. So I said to him, I said, I mean, is there an issue? Do we need to talk about anything? So I'm looking at him straight in the eye. I take the shades off so you can see I'm looking directly at him. And he looks at his food. He doesn't say nothing. He's quiet, like a house mouse. He doesn't say anything. I'm like, what happened to all that energy in the courtroom? Now there's no woman around. It's just two men in the room able to figure it out. This Negro says nothing. He says nothing. And I have the recording and video. So just in case he tried to tell an alternate story, he wrote a wolf check he couldn't cash. This nigga wrote a wolf check he couldn't cash. So I say to him, essentially, if there's no problem,